Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Are we all here?
No.
Norman's a little quiet, but other than that.
I feel like I listened to when I was on Channel 3. I felt like I was like really loud.
We're all really loud on there. The thing is,
That's good.
I couldn't get the volumes to sound
Good.
well when it was like an acceptable volume. So I just turn it down in post, but not even by much. I kind of just trust the listener to turn their volume down a little bit, you know?
Okay, am I still quiet? Where am
like-
I at? Hold on, which one is me? Oh, that's me.
Yeah, you're
You're not that quiet.
When I'm in the car and I'm listening to music, I listen to it at about 12 on the volume.
Okay.
But podcasts have to be at least 23 or I can't hear them.
Okay.
So I was like, I can fix that. I'll redline all of our podcasts all the time. So we drop out whenever someone gets too excited.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's usually Bailey.
What? That gets too excited?
Dropping out, yeah.
Oh.
You have a loud laugh and a quiet voice, so don't get self-conscious about it.
I'll try to stop.
Why?
Welcome back to this. We haven't done this. I'm Tanner. With me, as always, Norman.
It's
and
your
Emily.
boy.
Hello.
And joining us again, Bailey.
I'm guesting again.
He's guesting again. He swears he's not going to do this every week.
I missed last time, right?
Yeah, that's a good episode. It'll go up pretty soon.
I'm gonna listen to it.
The first episode is out, so this is officially a thing now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It is posted. The only link to it right now is on Spreaker, or I believe Cast, some other app approved us, but Apple and Spotify are still thinking about it.
This is episode 3, right?
Episode 3.
I really appreciate everybody that's listening.
Yeah,
Checking in on
definitely.
episode 3.
Especially if you're still here for the third episode, that means a lot.
Well, they came in for the initially for the candy on the windowsill and stayed for the child beheadings.
That's true. And now
It's not going to get better.
it's not going to get better. We have to set a bar for morbidity.
So I really like I really like, this rotating story. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel one thing I'm really hoping is as the channel kind of grows, we're able to find like maybe themes in like what you do, I do, and then what Emily
Well, I'm
does.
hoping what I do is the best reports.
Okay.
And then,
The
like-
best.
Well, I got some bad news. I got 3 pages of notes today.
Oh, goodness.
Hell
Well, I don't
yeah.
do the longest ones, that's for sure.
Well, I'm a writer.
That's
I can
true.
only do so much.
I'm not.
Can I get just real quick check? So how long did you research your stuff?
I researched mine. I spent a couple of days, one night really intensively, and then a couple more nights taking notes
Okay.
and citing sources, which I've just realized I forgot to put in the description, so I still have them saved on my computer on a sticky note.
Okay.
So I'll add those to the description after we're done recording this.
Okay. I spent about 2 days
Okay.
because I'm incredibly like a really bad procrastinator.
Yeah.
And
So like 2 days before, you're like, oh shit, we're recording.
Well, the day including the day we recorded. So,
Okay.
and then
And then someone texted me today saying, "Hey, do you want to record tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'm not."
Wait, Norman told me you're in for good. You're a regular now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tight.
He didn't really tell me, but
no,
yeah,
I
like,
just adopted her.
I'm cool with it.
Cool.
doing it.
Glad we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
that cleared up.
Okay. Sorry.
He texted me today, right before I took a break at work, saying, "Do you want to do the topic?" And I
Guess
said,
what you're doing on your break?
"Sure." I was gonna play some Fire Emblem, but I'll find something. And then I was like, "All right, what are my constraints?" Because I've got a lot of spooky.
Literally nothing.
Well, that's not what I was told. So
I just wanted to. 'Cause here's the thing: if you tell Emily literally nothing,
Okay.
we're gonna hit some weird areas.
So what I'd like to shoot for is we present the facts
There we go.
and we make jokes about the facts.
Yeah.
And
See-
everyone can kind of interpret our opinions based on how we act.
I was gonna go for a ghost thing, which is not in the constraints, which I understand. now.
Ghosts are fine. For future reference, ghosts are fine.
Well,
I
okay.
just don't believe in them, and I will joke incessantly.
No, that's
the
totally
entire
fine.
time.
Yeah, I went to one of the coolest graveyards in the world when I was on my trip, and I was going to talk about
man.
that.
Where
because
was it?
In Scotland, in Edinburgh, Greyfriars
I bet
Kirkyard.
they do have cool graveyards.
Dude, it was so cool. But
I
I was
always
going to
thought
talk about...
Louisiana had dope graveyards, but I
They
bet
do.
Scotland has some
I'd
too.
imagine I remember it.
No.
It's okay, buddy.
Oh God!
Told me last time.
Bailey, when are you going to come in with a story? Like
I'm
next time you
working.
guest.
I'm working on my story right now.
Okay, cool.
Well,
That's
so
what
we just
I like
all-
about the alternating is we each get 2 weeks to kind of like
All
find
get 2
something.
weeks.
Also, I have some.
She's like, oh, okay.
I have some topics I've been saving.
Okay.
Until listeners start requesting topics, which
Yeah.
is the goal.
Well, the main-
because it's hard to come up with them.
Yeah,
The reason
yeah,
I brought
it is.
that up is I just really wanted to point out just the deteriorating stories here. Even though Emily's probably going to be amazing,
No,
despite
you
her.
don't mean quality, you mean content. Like the increasing morbidity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Don't
We'll
worry,
see.
I got a good one today.
That's
Nice.
fine.
It's gonna get
People
real.
don't tune in for a lighthearted jaunt.
Emily, please tell me this this story here does not have a happy ending.
It doesn't.
Nice.
Cool. So get ready for that. Spoiler alert, you're going to be sad after this.
I don't know about sad. Angry, maybe.
Angry works.
Not
That's
so
a
much
kind
angry,
of
just like
sad.
kind of like, huh.
So indifferent.
Wait, hold on.
no,
What,
no,
is
no,
that,
like-
is
like
that your
a-
anger?
Exactly the way you came into this.
Do you know me? Like, that is my anger, yes.
That sounds.
You
that sounds
saw
like
me get in a fight with someone and you didn't realize it. You were in the same room, you watched the whole thing, you didn't even realize.
Hey, you suck. Yeah.
No.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's
that,
just
that
like,
kind of just sounds like when your girlfriend gets mad at you because you said something stupid.
Yeah.
Just, huh. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how it starts.
You're like, oh shit,
fuck, I
this
fucked
isn't
up.
good.
You've given me a lot to think about. I'm going to go think about that.
I'm gonna go think about that now.
Oh,
So-
man. Speaking
yeah, I'll
of...
give you a lot to think about in this one, but
I think it's your spotlight now.
it's my turn. Okay. So, have you guys ever heard of the Texarkana Moonlight murders?
No.
No,
Do
but
go
I
on.
love locations named after 3 different things.
What's the third?
Oh,
Anna?
Texas.
Anna.
What's the third one?
Anyway,
That's fair.
it's
You've given me a lot to think about. I'm gonna edit all this out so I sound smart.
yeah. So it's a series of unsolved murders and
I
attacks.
love things named after 2 different things.
Anyway, it's a series of unsolved murders and attacks in the spring of 1946 in Texarkana, Texas. It's inspired a lot in pop culture, even though not many people have heard of it. It was the inspiration for the movie The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is one of the earliest slasher films. It was just 2 years after Chainsaw Massacre. It was before Halloween. Like, it was at the
Okay.
very, very beginning of the genre.
I haven't
wait.
seen it, but that's peculiar.
I did
Most
tell you
towns
about this
love
last
sundown.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
In Texas, most people aren't attractive until sundown, so... Sorry, what? I hope everyone knows I'm including myself in that.
There we go.
Rude.
I don't know. I like everybody, so I'm not a good judge of that. But, there were many suspects. They ended up interrogating like 300 plus people. No one was ever,
It's exhausting.
yeah. Lots and lots of people. They got the FBI involved. They got, the Texas Rangers involved. They had the manpower to interrogate all these people.
Ooh.
24 hours.
You know it's serious when the Rangers get involved. Have you seen Elf?
Are you talking smack about?
I've not seen Elf.
I don't think about Elf any time of the year except.
I've seen like clips enough to. Get
You remember that part in
Okay,
Elf
fair.
where Santa crashes and he's like, "Oh no, it's the Central Park Rangers," and they're like on horseback, and the horses are like huffing air in the wind.
What?
Once
And
again,
he's like-
I only think about Elf 2 months of the year. The rest
All
of
right,
the year,
it's
I
a family
refuse-
tradition of mine. We watch it every year. I've seen
No,
it
sure.
a dozen times.
The musical's
It's like we
really
watch
good.
it every day.
Very fun.
Yeah, every single day we all get together on Skype. We watch Elf.
To each their own.
I will say like 300. So you said 300 interrogations, right?
I actually, hold on. I don't know the for sure number. I know it's at least 300.
Okay.
I think I might have seen somewhere 500. But again, not a lot of time to research. It is it's 11:30. I was told it maybe 4:30.
Excuses. I feel like towards like the end of those hundreds, they're just like, did you do
Look.
it? Just come on, man.
Please.
No, it wasn't me. All right.
God
Okay. On to the next
damn
one.
Nope. Fuck again. What is this? 150? Jesus.
Yeah, so I was gonna move on.
I'm just picturing the guy interrogating his 300th person, and he's like, "All right, just show him the tools. See the hammer? It's fucking scary, right? Look, just tell me now. This is a pain for me too."
This guy has blood on his hands. It's just, nope.
No,
let him go.
that
Fuck.
wasn't me. So, and before I really get into it,
Yeah.
so we're gonna get into a couple of my favorite suspects, why it's so frustrating, even looking back. I don't want to do the math a long time later. Wait, I can do some quick math.
Yep.
Quick math.
80 years or so?
Oh.
What was the year?
1946.
Yeah,
So 82 years?
yeah, 70.
I mean,
something years.
we
I
could just-
didn't say I was good at
We'll
math.
just do the post, right? We'll just do the math and post. And
Yeah, I said 70.
Shit in post ever.
Hey, I beeped a lot of stuff for the Channel 3 episode today.
You actually, the last episode I listened to, there was quite a bit.
There was a part where Bailey was going, he's definitely not going to actually cut that out. And it was just not there, and no one knows what he was talking about.
That's good.
You're welcome. Is it good now? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter anymore.
So tell me about these, your favorite suspects.
Well, we'll get there.
I'm
Oh,
making a
okay.
Because there's a lot of things we need to know about the killings first.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
But before I get into the crimes, I've got to warn you guys, it's gonna get bad. There's really gruesome and graphic descriptions.
Okay.
There's sexual assault.
Okay.
Obviously, there's murder.
My favorite.
I was going to make a joke before the sexual assault. Now I feel
Hey, good on you for refraining.
Ooh, that's not gonna age well.
this is going to come up in my hearing.
But, there are fates worse than death. So, just keep that in mind while we get going.
It's true.
It's gonna get dark and dirty, I wrote down. I don't know why I wrote that, but I think it's funny.
There are fates worse than death. I'm about to have to start Love Island, so
Is that a fate worse than death?
I
I'm gonna
believe
say
it will
yes.
be. Yes.
No, you're gonna like it. I guarantee you'll like it.
Sometimes I sort by new on Reddit.
Oh, fate worse than death.
Anyway.
Anything on Reddit now.
So, let's get into the crimes. The first attack occurred on February 22nd, 1946. The victims are 25-year-old Jimmy Hollis and his girlfriend, 19-year-old Mary Jean Larry.
Sounds like they were at makeout point.
Wait, her last
Can
name
you
is
let
Larry?
me finish the sentence? Because literally the next word is, we're parked at local lovers.
Oh, yes!
What were you saying, Norm?
You said her last name
Makeout
is Larry.
point.
I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it very incorrect. Larey.
Okay.
Larey.
Okay,
No, it
I
sounds
like that
Larry.
Larry.
Hold on. I'm gonna
yes.
interrupt, and I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I got a lot of notes. We're gonna have to.
Have you
break-
seen the Family
my
Guy
voice.
episode where they're trying to write a horror movie? And Peter's like, "What about a horror movie where there's the two teenagers at makeout point?" And it cuts to it, and like one of them keeps talking about unloading on the sun visor, and the other one's like, "What about that rabid cat? What's been scratching people to death?" And he's like, "I don't believe in it. Now tilt the visor just right." Have you seen
Not
that?
seen that.
All right, it's pretty good. Continue.
Speaking of that,
That's what
though,
I'm picturing
this-
in my head.
Yeah, this is probably the inspiration for that urban legend of the two lovers at
Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying.
Bringing it back to
Lovers
relevant.
Lane. Yeah, bringing it back to. That's my top. That's
That's what this episode is going to be called.
Bringing it back around. Okay.
Can we name it Larry?
It's
Yes, but
Lorraine.
no one will
Well,
know how to
no,
pronounce
but
it.
then. All right, fair enough. This is like one of the inspirations, which is actually how I found it. There's a documentary called Killer Legends, where they go around looking into what inspired urban legends, which is how I know about this. Which is
Candy
good
Lady
since I
wasn't
had
there.
to come up with it in a couple hours. But so yeah, they were at one of the local lovers lanes, because there's a bunch.
Sounds like my hometown.
It's not far from Texarkana. You're from Arlington?
I am from Arlington, actually.
Yeah,
That's
it's
where I was born. But by my hometown, I meant, I'm not going to say it because I'd have to beep it, but it has the highest teen pregnancy rate in the state, or it did when I was in high school.
It
That's
also
cute.
has Jamie Foxx's mom.
Hey.
No, that's next door.
Okay.
That's the other place, right next door.
Anyway. So, nearing midnight, about 10 minutes after the couple arrived, a man approached their car wearing a white cloth mask, guessed to be a pillowcase with holes for his eyes cut out, and he shined a flashlight through the window. After some confusion as to whether or not they were being pranked, the man said, "I don't want to kill you, fellow, so just do what I say." They were ordered to get out of the car, and Hollis, the dude, was ordered to take his britches off. That's a quote. After Hollis complied, he was struck on the back of the head with a pistol, with a pistol that the
Hold
man
on.
had.
I'm still hung up on britches.
Yeah, he said, "Take off your britches." Well, he didn't say that. I just don't want to say bad words.
Pants?
No. He said britches. I kept that part of the quote.
Okay.
Oh, you can say bad words here.
Yeah,
it's
but
fine.
I don't like to say bad words. My mom's gonna listen. She'll be disappointed.
Oh man, another
wait.
parent listening. My vulgar mouth.
Oh, God.
All right,
She knows the people I hang out with.
I'll tone it down for this one.
I'll try to reinforce whatever she's already thinking.
After Hollis complied, he was struck on the back of the head with the pistol that the man had 2 times. The noise was so loud that Larry thought he shot her boyfriend, but later found out that was just the sound of his skull cracking.
Wow.
Ow!
Yeah. It's gonna get worse from here.
Hell yeah.
After some
heck
back
yeah.
and forth between Larry and the man, and I am cutting out a bunch of like the smaller details because like there's a lot to these. But so after some back and forth between them, he told her to run. She started running one way and he said, No, go that way. And she was like, okay, fine, I'm leaving.
Not that way.
Yeah, and she was like,
shit.
Hey,
okay, he has a gun, he's right. I will go that way now. But then he caught up to her not too long after and then demanded to know why she was running.
why are you running?
What? Why are you?
I definitely phrased it that way because I knew you were going to say that. And then she was like, you just told me to run. He was like, no, you're lying. You're a liar. And then struck her on the back of the head. And this is where it gets really bad.
Hit it.
He pinned her down and began sexually assaulting her with the barrel of his gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man,
Yeah.
everything you say is taking me back to an animated comedy show that I've watched.
What?
Yeah, no
have you-
more Family Guy, please.
No, this one's Brickleberry, so
Oh
it's
my
fine.
God.
Haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen Brickleberry?
Is that Tosh?
There's these 2 rednecks. Yeah, Daniel Tosh plays the bear. There's these 2 rednecks, and one of them gets mad that Obama's coming to town and decides he could come up with a better healthcare system than Obamacare. And he does it, and he insures his friend, who immediately has to go to the doctor because he put a pencil in his eye. And it turns into this thing, and one of them runs out of money, and he was complaining about how Obama's going to start banning all the fun things. But then he got broke because of his friend's hospital bill, so he's like, I'm going to ban big sodas and guns. And the other one's like, oh, guns? What am I putting in my mouth when
I don't.
All right, we got
I
there.
sort
Took us a second, but we
see
got
where
there.
it connected. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this one's worse.
Oh, yeah, definitely
yeah.
worse. This was a
That is
cartoon.
not an argument.
This was not a cartoon. This was a what did I say? 19-year-old. Yeah, not great. When it was all over,
I would say not great's a little bit of an
not
understatement.
not an ideal situation to be in. That's just an objective
She's
fact,
just like,
I'd
you
say.
know what we should do today? No, not that.
Not that. So when it was all over,
Needs
she
to
ran
be
by
oiled
foot
anyway.
and found help for herself. And Hollis, the guy she was with, had actually regained consciousness.
With a cracked skull.
He managed to flag down help from the side of the road. And they were both taken to the hospital, and he recovered within a matter of days. So they both survived.
Okay.
Which is incredible with the injuries that he got, and then like they both were physically okay in the end. So I don't know for sure that like there weren't any complications from, you know, a fractured skull
Or the other stuff.
Yeah, taking off your pants in front of a stranger is pretty.
Yes, that's
britches?
what I meant.
Yeah, not the, whoa, pants, slow down.
Emily, please,
Wait,
your
I
mom is
wasn't
listening.
supposed to be doing
Your
that?
mom is listening.
So they both managed to make recoveries, at least physically, but they gave conflicting descriptions about the attacker. Hollis said that he was white, while Larry said he was black. Not great. But they both did agree about the pillowcase over his head with the holes for eyes in his mouth, and that he was about 6 feet tall. So the second attack is the first double murder. It occurred on March 15th, I think it was exactly 3 weeks later, or give or take around there.
Real quick, can I ask a question about?
I will answer this question.
Yeah. So the first attack.
Yes.
So he sexually assaulted her, and then he was just like, I'm done.
It didn't say, but I'm assuming,
Okay.
like, he did what he needed to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, because he
maybe
did
he-
say, I don't want to kill you, so.
I don't want to kill you, fella.
Again,
Take your britches off.
Maybe he just got
This
like
is
nervous
so
that he'd
hard
get
to joke
caught, so
about.
he just
Yeah.
like ran away after
But-
a while of it.
I will say, there was a very secluded area in the middle of the
let's
night.
make out point.
Yeah, so, like, that's the point of that area, is that it's secluded. It's far from things. No one's going to be
It's
there.
secluded except
So-
for the 8 other
Like,
cars
maybe
of
she was just being,
teenagers
like,
there.
No, there's, I told you, there's several lovers' lanes, so it's fine.
It's like you
'Cause-
go to one, you see a car, you're like,
go on to the next one. I mean, I don't know if you have, but have you been to Texarkana? There's not much there.
I don't know. I might have driven through it.
That's
I've been.
that's as much as you really need to do to see it all.
Yeah.
There's not much going on, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm from one of those.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on with the second incident?
So this one, there's a couple
It's not
issues
real.
with it.
I mean, it was, but
So Richard L. Griffin, 29, and his 17-year-old girlfriend. Different time.
whoa!
Yeah, there is that.
Hold
That's
up.
the first
One more
issue.
time. Go over that one more time.
Yeah. So, Richard L. Griffin,
Right.
who is 29, was
Right.
29, and his 17-year-old girlfriend,
Okay.
Polly
Hey,
Ann Moore.
Norman.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Richard.
Yeah.
How your stocks doing, buddy? Pretty good?
Pretty good.
How's the house?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mortgage is coming along fine?
Oh, just dandy.
So tell me about the new girlfriend.
Yeah. So she's
Now, I will say they were only seeing each other for 6 weeks. Not worth it, I'd say. They did both die. And also, he was
Spoiler.
29 and she was 17. I told you this is the first double murder.
Oh, dang it, she did.
Man, I'm acting like 29, like stocks and mortgage and all that, but like,
We're getting
well,
close.
no, I think
We're getting close, bud.
What year is this again?
1946.
1946. I feel like once you hit 20, you basically like, all right, you know,
yeah, you're
I
out.
have my life
buddy.
together.
Yeah,
it's
like-
time to go. I can't go to college.
plenty of land.
Let's see.
There's a lot of land out there.
My grandfather, 1946, he would have been about 20 at this time, and he had been working manual labor in fields since he was like 13.
Yeah.
He was
He was
smoking
5.
a pack a day since he was 13.
We've all been there.
So,
So I mean, it kind of makes sense, but yeah, definitely different time.
Different time for sure.
To get back into character, my girlfriend, we just met. She's lovely.
yes.
And very mature for her age.
Okay. A little odd that you'd say that. So, she acts like she's, what, 50?
I mean, she's 21.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's 18, 17. Oh,
17.
don't let her hear me say that.
Whoa, that's a big difference there.
It's a different time.
in the eyes of the law.
It's currently a
It's a
different
different time these times.
It's a different time back now.
Back now, it is currently a different time.
So I'm very afraid on what you're about to say next, Emily.
So the car was parked in another lover's lane in an area near a night spot called
This
Club
is why
Dallas.
towns need movie theaters and bowling alleys. So we don't have these lovers lane murders.
So what else are you
walk at the
supposed to do
bowling
at
alley?
midnight?
My town, highest teen pregnancy rate in the state, no movie theater or bowling alley. Nothing to do except it.
Do we have a lover's lane here?
Here?
Yeah.
I imagine
like maybe
that's
like-
just what Copper
Well, we
Beach
have
is for.
several movie theaters and a couple of bowling alleys, so we don't need that.
Oh,
Did I say that out loud? I used to live there.
Like my house.
So they were found early the next morning. Griffin was slumped over.
Police walked up and they're like, all right, 2 crimes happened here.
It's terrible.
All right, I'm done.
Just by looking at them.
These people
She still has a backpack on from school.
And you obviously have to listen to a couple of the other podcasts to kind of get
Gross.
No, I
She's
feel
younger
like-
than him.
Do they cuff him? Well, we got one guy.
One more.
I'm kind of
From
curious.
some of the victims' blood.
What was the like, age of consent
What's the age of consent
in 1946?
46.
Do I want to Google it or do I not want that in my
Can I
search history?
get our researcher on that?
Will
I
you
don't have
Google
my-
the age
I don't
of
have my
consent
phone.
in the 40s?
I don't have my phone.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
I'll-
it's 17 now.
And then Google age of consent 1946 and then how to build time machine.
Wow.
I'm good. I am good.
Look, I'm gonna go to our supercomputer. I'm gonna check those facts, or I'm gonna look it up for us.
Oh, he's in the mainframe.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
That looks
He's got
like some
6
weed
keyboards
Wait,
around him, guys.
Zoom in. Enhance.
stuff.
At the Taco Bell.
So Griffin was found slumped over in between the front seats. He was on his knees with his head on his crossed hands. Moore, the girl, was found. The girl, not the woman.
Yes.
Yeah. Was
Avi.
the Moore was found sprawled out face down in the back seat.
Norman has gone further than one click into this search.
Sorry. What was the state again? Where's it taking place?
Texas.
Texarkana?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
It's in the name.
There's
along
a lot
with
of
2
stuff
other
in that.
things. Now I will say both were fully clothed.
Well, that's a good start.
That is a good start.
Bad ending. Good start.
They had also both been shot in the back of the
Had
head.
us in the first half.
So,
Okay.
it seemed to the police because of where and how blood was found outside of the car that they were both killed outside of it and then put back into the car post-mortem. Rumors went around that there was sexual assault again, but there's nothing really to prove that, and modern-day reports tend to refute that. So that's a plus.
Hey, that's, yeah.
The police announced a $500 reward for any information
Big ballin'.
to get.
Not a lot.
Well,
It was
in that
then.
day, yeah, it was about $6,500 modern day. So
Wow, inflation has hit us hard.
it was like
Quick math.
1,300%. Oh, I looked it up.
Good Lord.
Um,
$500 doesn't even pay my rent now.
I feel that.
Okay, just real quick, I'm
Yes.
gonna say that it says here by 1920, almost all states had raised their age of consent to 16 or 18.
Raised to 16?
That is awful.
Whoa!
Bro.
I'm just saying.
It's a different time back
What
now.
is this world we're living in?
So
Anyway, so they didn't really get any useful leads from that. It was just a lot of people that were like, I could use $6,500
Of course they didn't.
in
It was the
2019 money.
40s.
In 20.
Yeah. But don't worry. 4 weeks later, there was another double murder. So that was April 13th, 1946, again.
That's my birthday.
You were born in 1946?
Oh my god, I didn't tell you?
Whoa.
you look amazing.
No, April 13th, though. That's my birthday.
14th.
Do you say 14th or 13th?
I said 13th.
13th. 13th's my birthday.
I refuse to give up
I know,
this
you
point.
always do this. I don't know why you do this. It's on the
I know, when's your
13th. You came
birthday?
to my house
Didn't
on
you
my
not know it for a
birthday.
minute?
I know when your birthday is. I heard 14th.
Oh.
So like
1-3.
probably for like a whole
And you
year.
came to
I kept
my
telling
house on
people-
your birthday.
Hold on.
not
We
true.
need to listen to this Norman story. It's
We
very
watched
good.
Jason 10. Jason. Oh no,
It's
that
not
was
very
Ethan.
good at all. Actually.
It's
Why do you
pretty
keep
good.
confusing me with Ethan?
I don't know. He was supposed to be here tonight, but he bailed.
Oh, so you call me
Ethan?
instead.
Okay, never mind.
No, I texted you both at the same time. And Ethan was like, I don't know. I have work at 8. And I was like,
He did last
you
time,
should come
too.
anyway. And he was like, I like sleep. And I was like, you like to sleep on your friends? And he was like, he didn't
Yeah.
say anything.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Anyway, Norman, your story now, please.
Sleeping, bro.
Yeah, actually, for a whole year, I kept telling people the wrong date of my birthday until someone pointed out when they were looking at my ID that I had my birthday wrong the whole time. So
So
Which
did you
is one
not
of my
know, or you were
favorite-
doing it on purpose?
I didn't know.
Which is one of my favorite Norman
For how
stories.
long?
It was probably like a year. And
Okay.
I was actually arguing with somebody. I was like, "What? No, I didn't tell you 27th. I told you 26th." I'm like, "What? What's your ID?"
Oh, also, happy belated birthday. I meant to text you and then I
I
didn't.
appreciate
Wait,
that.
27th of what?
This month.
August.
Oh, wow. That was...
2 days ago?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Why didn't you say anything?
Hey guys, my birthday.
Yeah. I
So
don't
do you
know.
feel
Chill, get some
older?
drinks. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was out of town. It was on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
just
well,
got
we
back
still
today.
would have said happy birthday.
Yeah, Avalon
Then why
told
do
me-
why do we have to have him tell us?
I don't know.
It's literally, it's in my calendar, and someone
Drink
was like, "Hey,
something
are you gonna text Norm for his birthday?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Give me
And then
All I
I
have is
didn't.
scotch. Norman wants a scotch for his birthday.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like it? Don't worry, I got you.
You know what? Actually,
Okay.
let's take a break real quick because I gotta go to the bathroom.
We were just getting to the good part.
We're about to get to the second double murder.
It's okay. I have to edit out all the break.
Thank you, Bailey. By the way,
And we're back.
Thank you for the scotch.
Of course. Yeah. I was gonna say it was your birthday at one point.
Mean.
I think just about everybody could say that.
Do you feel older?
I said just about.
Honestly, like when I actually said like yeah, like this guy at the bar, he asked me how old I was. I was like, yeah, I'm 28. And I was like, oh God, what have I accomplished?
I always forget. I don't know. I guess you were my manager for so long that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're super close.
I was your
in
manager
age.
once.
You were. I think everyone here has been over me at a job before.
Hey, but
I don't think I was.
maybe you can say that next time.
No,
when
I guess
start.
not. I guess we were equals. Actually,
Yeah.
I think I left right before you started.
That's what I was gonna say.
No,
like,
no, we worked together like once.
Okay.
I remember.
That sounds
I found your 2-week notice on the back counter one day that just
Oh.
said, "This is my 2 weeks."
Yo, it's my 2 weeks.
It was on highlighter on a piece of receipt paper.
I remember that. I
receipt
feel like
paper. He put your 2 weeks on. Oh my!
I feel like I was like on break or like on vacation, and Emily just
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah, I did, but like, it was only because I loved everyone there and I knew we were cool.
oh, where you go? Hey,
far
we're
as I
cool,
know.
right?
Ever
Here's some
since then,
receipt
I've been
paper.
hoping you use me for a reference. And when they're like, yeah, so you know what happened? What happened?
Listen
Well,
to
yeah,
what-
he just just I'm done.
I have used you as a reference.
Never
Have you not
got a
got any call?
Nah.
All right.
All right, ready to get back into the murder?
Yeah, let's go.
I
All
hope
right.
you know
Let's
that
talk about that double homicide.
has come to me for all three of. Anyway.
Double murder. So April 13th, not 14th.
Did you just air horn a double murder?
Can you?
Double murder.
Didn't we just discuss that it's not the time for at least another generation?
Oh God, dang it! Sorry. Yeah.
We just had that conversation.
Oh,
While
hamburgers.
he was in the bathroom.
Oh, hamburgers.
All right, so
I
Just let her.
Just let him, please. No more.
no, go ahead.
No more.
It's fine.
so I edited the first episode today, and Bailey did an impression that sounded exactly like Grandpa Enos from
remember
Futurama.
that, yeah.
And I just hope you know that every single voice in my head during this story is Grandpa Enos from Futurama.
That's pretty good.
And or
Take your britches off. Well, gee willikers, stranger.
Oh my god.
Tanner wasn't part of that conversation, so he's immune to that.
We did while you were gone. We were talking about when it's okay to like make jokes about murder. I decided when all the people that knew that person are no longer alive.
See,
Here's the
Tanner
thing.
doesn't,
Different
Tanner
philosophy.
doesn't do that.
Yeah,
My
I
philosophy
can tell.
is if you don't start joking right away, you can't start healing.
That's how I was
I
with my
hope people are
dad's death.
making jokes at my funeral. Like,
yeah.
Bailey, I want you to do a full hour of stand-up at my funeral.
You think you'll die before me? Jesus Christ.
Fingers
That's
crossed.
bold. That is bold.
Yeah, my dad's funeral, practically half of it was just stand up. It was a pretty good time, I gotta say, all things considered. Us Buchanans put the fun in funeral.
That's so dark.
I did say that day to my grandma, his mom, and she did not think it was funny.
Oh, God.
Anyway, double murder. So 15-year-old...
Sorry. No.
15-year-old Betty Jo Booker and her friend, 16-year-old. There's a much smaller,
smaller age difference.
And also
Still
they
weren't
together. But, so her friend, Paul Martin... Marriage. It was 1946. That didn't exist.
That's true. They hadn't invented that yet. They hadn't they hadn't even hammered out sex yet. Like, you got married and it was kind of, you fumbled around for a little bit and then the stork came.
Man, you stopped her dead in her tracks with that one.
It's like, what do we do now? I don't know. I can bake a pie. Okay, let's start there and see what happens.
The good times.
We're never going to get through this story.
We're
so bad at interrupting.
Okay. Anyway, so they were last seen alive around 1:30 a.m. Martin had picked up Booker from a gig her jazz band played.
Tight.
Yeah.
You like jazz?
We're talking about murder, not B-movie.
It all comes back to B-movie.
Oh, man.
Full circle.
No. Look, we need to let her finish this.
Now I'm picturing those kids outside.
God damn it! All right.
No. But, like, did y'all see Back to the Future?
No, I've never seen
I've never seen Back to the Future.
You remember that part where the band is outside and all the white kids come out and they're like, "Hey, we don't want to get caught up with any reefer addicts." And it's like, that was supposed to be super offensive, but it was the 50s, so it was like, you know.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing in my head.
Okay.
They went to their jazz band, all the reefer addicts. Oh.
Well, her jazz band's name was the Rhythmaires, which
Yep.
is a good jazz band
That is a
name.
good jazz
That's
band.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
I like that.
That's up there with Sacapellas with top band names, you know?
So,
It's all done.
so they were seen together at 1:30 a.m. And then he was found at 6:30 that morning by a motorist passing by. He had been shot 4 separate times, and how he was shot paints a disturbing picture of his last moments. He was shot once through the nose, again through the left 4th rib from behind, a third time in the right hand, and finally a killing shot through the neck.
The nose didn't do it?
Yeah, so they're not, I think...
Was it nose across or
Probably-
nose through?
No.
You know, I didn't look
Cross.
up pictures, because the
There's gotta be
description
a
was enough for
coroner's
me.
report.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
All I'm saying is you had 5 hours to do this
I did have
research?
5
Come
hours,
on.
and 2 hours of it was busy, but... and also I had to work.
Didn't even check the corner. Come on.
Next time, I'll go deep. I'll get the coroner's reports.
If you don't want to, honestly, if you don't, if it's too disturbing, just shoot that bad boy towards me.
Anyway, yeah, I can do that.
Do that anytime.
So just imagining like where the gunshots were, like when it was through his right hand, he was probably like trying to protect his face. Obviously, it didn't work. When he got shot in the back, he was probably just trying to escape his inevitable demise. But like if he was running, he didn't know that yet. So
Something in nose and right hand were the same shot.
potentially,
It was like something
but.
And then it got like horizontal nose and hand. Yeah.
Not good either way.
Yep.
I'm just gonna throw that one out.
There is no getting shot good.
Yeah, we'll get to something worse later.
Okay, cool.
So it's just like a disturbing picture from that alone.
Yeah.
Booker wasn't found until later that day, almost 2 miles from Martin. The way she was found was odd, as she was fully clothed, lying on her back, with her coat buttoned up all the way, and her right hand was gently in her pocket. Which was just weird.
Huh.
Was she... I mean, I don't know if you...
Tell me about the wounds.
Well,
I didn't find anything about the wounds, so I
face
think they
down
were
or
just...
face up?
She was lying on her back.
Okay.
But she was shot. All it said was she was shot to death. Let me check my source. Are you pretending to be...
No, Marty and I are making eyes because he was licking and I nudged him and now he's mad.
She'd been shot twice, once through the chest and once in the face.
Okay.
And then the
Again,
weapon
not
used
great.
was the same as in the first double murder. It was a .32 automatic Colt pistol. Not great. The car, so she was 2 miles away from Martin. The car was found 3 miles away from her and 1.5 miles from Martin.
Well, that
so
math just doesn't work.
Well, it was like a triangle. They weren't
Oh.
together. They weren't
Yeah,
found
I guess
together or
that
anything.
works.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a road.
No. They were found in different areas of Texarkana.
Is it like... Okay.
So it was kind of weird that the bodies were so far apart and then the car was even somewhere completely different, still had the keys in the ignition.
Yeah.
So the police were just stumped. The reward for the information grew to $1,700, which is over $22,000 modern money.
Now back to my hunch.
Ew, gross. So at this point, there were so many rumors and there was so much speculation going on that the police actually made a statement practically begging the public to stop spreading the rumors. They were like, hey, consider, you're not helping anything. You're hindering our investigation. This is disrespectful to the victims. It's disrespectful for their families. We're not getting anywhere. It's making this harder for everyone. So stop whispering about it, because a lot of the rumors were getting into the newspapers, and a lot of the rumors,
Oh man,
yeah,
newspapers at the time.
a lot
I'm
of
sure they
headlines
ran
for this
with
one.
that.
Bailey, can I hear your best,
Oh boy,
radio station voice in the 1940s, right?
Do a good Walter Cronkite real quick.
Yeah, but
Put me on the spot for this one.
And that's the news.
What would
Let me see if I can. I could see
Yeah,
if I could
Probably
find the
this
headline.
and I don't know, the beginning of the Cold War.
girl was shot.
Oh god.
solid start.
So, like,
Solid start.
I like the C, that really adds to it.
yeah. No, I'm not going any further. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay.
In the pocket, C.
So so some of the rumors that had started were even that a local priest or local minister had turned in his own son as a suspect.
I
Which-
like that.
Which was
This
really
kid didn't say his
damaging.
Hail Marys. I bet he did it.
Yeah, so it was really damaging to a lot of people, like just that rumor, and that was far from the only rumor.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the end of it, but it may have been. But we'll get into that in a minute.
What are you
so
staring at my hat for?
It's cool.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
this is an audio podcast.
It's a U.S. Postal Service hat with several U.S. Postal Service pins on it. It was my grandfather's. He worked for the U.S. Postal Service.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
The band?
Yes, he worked
Postal
for
Service.
the presidents of the United States of America, who wrote the very popular hit Some Postman. It was about him.
Anyway,
Wow. That was a walk if anyone followed that reference. I know one of our listeners did.
so May 3rd, 1946 is the supposed final crime. A farmer, that cannot be his name.
Please read that.
Mr. A. Farmer.
No. I wrote, I typed Virgin Starks. Let me check. I think,
I bet that was just
That
his
can't be
nickname
right.
in high school.
Virgin Starks.
no, okay, his
Hey,
name,
it's Virgin Starks. This is the 40s. We're all virgins.
We don't know about sex yet.
Statistically, millennials have less sex than all of their ancestors. Continue.
His name was Virgil
Speak
Starks.
for yourself. Okay, Can you tell me a little bit more about Virgil? Can you tell me a little bit more about Virgin?
I don't know that I
I had
can.
jokes, but they were all too real, so I'm gonna keep going. Just gonna power through.
So anyway, his wife's name was Katie. They were enjoying
Married. So, you know.
Definitely not a virgin.
Can we just edit this out, please?
No, this all stays.
Oh my gosh. Okay. His wife Katie, they were enjoying a quiet, modest life about 10 miles outside of the city center of Texarkana.
That just will not do. Sounds like it's time for a murderer.
So Katie was in her room and Virgil was in the living room with he's a farmer, he's working hard all day.
Wait, did we decide it's actually Virgil?
Yes, it's Virgil.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out what's canon and what's not at this point.
Virgin was
Virgin is just headcanon.
Anyway, so she gave him a heating pad to help his back, and then she went to their room to settle down for the evening while he listened to his favorite radio show.
For some reason, a 1940s heating pad just doesn't sound safe.
That's exactly
You know?
It's like a
We will get there.
warmers or like
Oh, we're gonna get there.
We'll get
We're
there.
gonna get there.
We'll
The
get there.
heating pad was just a fire. She just started a small fire on his back.
Thanks, honey. I appreciate that.
See? Oh no. Don't call anyone.
Apple Watches, am I right?
So once she,
This old heating pad.
went back to her room.
So she went to her room, and then she heard a noise in the backyard, so she asked Virgil, officially his name, she asked Virgil to go check it out. But the next thing she heard was glass breaking, which she assumed to be her husband dropping a glass. So she went in to check on him, to see him stand, and
That sounds-
immediately slump back into his chair.
I'm sorry to
shit.
interrupt again, but that sounds so depressing. She hears a glass breaking and she's like, God, Virgil, again?
Well, no, she went to go
Are
check
you
on him.
drunk again?
No, she went to go check on him, so there was some love there, you know, like,
She
like,
went to go
oh
check
no,
out him
he dropped
out
something.
of
Is he
obligation.
okay? He
I'm
was
with you.
not.
Oh,
He was not okay. So he stood up and immediately slumped back into his chair. And so she ran over to see if he was okay, and then she noticed the blood. He had been shot in the back of the head 2 times.
And
and
she
died
didn't hear
immediately.
that, but she heard the glass breaking.
Well, because, and there's some debate about that, but
So I
the gun was really quiet, and the
Like-
glass was like louder.
No. It's not possible. So,
Or like the sounds combined, and she just didn't think about it.
I know Norman knows this, but recently I've gotten into shooting as a hobby.
Get it, bro. You shoot guns.
I shoot guns. And I went to the shooting range and wore 2 layers of... There's no such thing as a silencer.
A
Called
quieter.
a suppressor.
Oh, suppressor makes more sense.
no, what you
yeah.
do, you put a potato at the...
But the mechanical sound of a gun, the slide moving
1946.
back, is louder than a glass breaking. Even if you were able to get rid of all the explosion sound.
Well, I mean, this is also
I don't
just...
buy it. All I'm saying is
I'm
this
assuming
lady
she's
shot
not
her
alive,
husband.
right?
We'll get there.
Okay. Let's
I
get there.
can't.
This lady shot her husband.
Wait, no. We're going to get there.
So he slumped back into his chair. She ran over to see if he was okay. Picked up his head, blood everywhere. And so he was dead, like immediately. So she realized that, kicked into overdrive. She ran to go call the cops. It rang twice before she was shot in the face. Twice, where more disturbing graphic details come into play. So the first shot entered her right cheek and exited behind her left ear.
Ow.
The second one went in below her lip, breaking her jaw and shattering several teeth before stopping just under her
The
tongue.
first one didn't hit any teeth?
You guys are making some goofy faces.
We're trying to figure
trying
out how
to-
the first one
No,
didn't
no,
break
I
any
know.
Investigative reporting.
Yeah, that's what we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
So it lodged just under her tongue. She fell to her knees, but then got back up.
Okay.
And
Look, I'm gonna be honest here. If I got shot in the face twice,
I just
I'm
lay
good.
down.
You just stay.
I'm good.
Yeah, I get it.
Did she eat the bullet?
She bit the bullet
Well, because you said it
Ooh.
stopped under her tongue.
under her tongue.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awkward place.
Also, it's probably hot.
I would say all places are not great to have a bullet lodged. That's just a hot take from me.
Okay, hold on. We're
That's a pretty cold take. I think everybody agrees.
Like, you could get one, shoulder. That's less awkward than under your tongue.
what about like the butt? Because like really meaty there.
Like,
So,
in which part?
Well, I hope I don't.
all right,
have to
before we
explain
get
this.
too deep into these butts,
yeah, it's all right.
Oh, sorry. That's just a force of habit.
so she ran into the living room. She was trying to get a pistol that they had stored there, but she was blinded by her own blood. She heard the killer trying to come in through the back porch and thought that would be the end for her, so she stumbled back into her room and started writing a final note, basically saying goodbye.
That's dumb.
All right. Well, okay. Hold on.
Have
Look,
you seen
no,
Scream Queens?
so no- Yes,
Yes.
I
You
love
You know the
that
first
show.
episode where Ariana Grande is getting killed and she's
And she
posting
has to
on
tweet
Facebook?
about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what's going on right here.
Well, so to get to the exits of the house, she would have had to pass where the killer was already getting in. So she'd also, again, been shot in the face twice. She was like, well, I still have some wherewithal. I'm gonna say goodbye. Which is so, like, to be in that mindset,
Yeah.
like, I know that's a very high, like, I hope to never be in that situation. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah. But still,
I don't know.
a note doesn't seem like... Okay,
What's your go-to
Well,
method
okay.
of dying?
so
She could have also, like, it
I've
might have
worked
helped the
for-
police, like, writing down what had happened, the order of events, what was going on.
I've worked for corporations and they have a training video on active shooters in this. I don't know if
After I got robbed at gunpoint that night, the training went on for that, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
thanks.
I don't know if that video if I had to do that when I worked at, the same place as you. But I have had to do a video where they explain the priorities. Run. If you can't run, hide.
Oh yeah,
if
they
you can't
they
hide,
just started that one.
fight. Nowhere in there is write a note. If the killer's between you and the door,
Well, but
run toward the door.
I don't know, man. I kind of see where she's coming from, right? Because like at
she
this point,
was-
she's been shot in the
yeah,
face.
she's been
blinded.
shot in the face. She can't
What's
see.
she gonna write on the note? Guy with pillowcase again.
She could have. I don't know what she wrote. I
could've-
couldn't find the note.
I was shot.
Again, not a lot of research time.
Obviously.
But also, like, if you know in your heart that you're about to die, like, and you had the opportunity to say goodbye to the people that love you, I would take it. But,
I
like,
would too.
I would draw deuces on the paper.
yeah, we know. This is my 2 weeks.
That's my 2 weeks.
Anybody have any receipt paper?
No, I get that. I've heard stories about people in situations where they think they're gonna die. They send like I literally
The
recently.
guy
Like
on the guy on the plane
shooters.
in 9/11 who sent the text to his wife.
Yeah.
And that's been trademarked since then.
What do you mean?
He had a thing that he said to his wife and kids. It was like a cute, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like love you 3000 or something
Yeah.
like that. And he
Yikes.
texted
That's a
that to
bad
his
reference
wife, and
in
she has
Avengers,
trademarked that phrase because of the movie that came out about 9/11
There's a lot of
and
those.
all of that.
Oh, okay.
It was something.
So I
And
mean,
Hey,
I should say
supporting
that's
her
not to
from
make
beyond.
light in any way of 9/11. What
Right,
an
of
awful
course.
thing. And I've been to the memorial, and it's ridiculous how messed up that whole situation is. but a trademark seems a little off there. Maybe.
Oh, that's a weird one, man.
Yeah, it is. Anyway,
So
what did she copyright on this note?
I don't know. I couldn't find it. But so he gave up on trying to get in through that door. So then she was like, I have a chance.
Classic killer.
Yeah, it was like a thick wire, like screen, and he just couldn't get through it.
I'm sorry, what? A thick wire screen?
Well, no, like, like, my grandparents live in the middle of nowhere, and they have thick screens to keep bugs out.
Yeah.
And also
And
killers.
Same. But, like, I could get through that screen if I really wanted to.
A different time, things were made different. I don't know. He gave up. He moved on to another part of the house to try to get
the
in.
40s.
Yeah.
They didn't have wire cutters yet.
Exactly.
Bullets didn't go through nothing.
Except
What
glass.
And teeth.
And teeth. So that's two things.
Yeah, so what happened?
So, so she took the opportunity to escape. She had to, like, basically run circles around the house trying to figure out where he was coming in. And I found a quote saying that while she was running around, she left a virtual river of blood and teeth.
Sweet. I love VR games. I felt bad about that one immediately.
As you should.
Continue.
So she ran out of the house, went to one house that no one was home. Again, shot in the face.
This is exactly like a slasher movie.
Right. This is what inspired slasher movies in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she ran out of the house. You missed the nice quote, a virtual river of blood and teeth. And then he said, not something I'm going to repeat because it was a dumb joke.
I love VR games. You know it's bad when Bailey just shakes his head.
So she ran.
That sounds like a sequel to Rush of Blood.
Please,
Except
please
this was
finish this.
1946, so this came first.
Prequel, fine.
So she ran to a couple different houses, and I liked this part. She got to one house, and then that neighbor was gonna call another neighbor, but first he shot his shotgun so so the other neighbor would know to listen.
That's Texas.
That's Texas for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear
So
a gunshot and you're like, I better see what's up. Hold on.
Yeah,
Wait
yeah.
for the phone.
Yeah, and so he
Dale?
shot
Was that you?
he shot the shotgun in the air to get the other neighbor's attention, and then he called him saying,
That's
we need
super
to
dangerous.
get this girl to the hospital now.
You shouldn't fire guns in the air.
Maybe he shot it in the ground. I don't know.
I've been hit by birdshot that was flying through the air.
What?
Well, again,
Really?
this was the
Yeah.
middle of the night too,
I've been
so there's
shot.
not much going on.
It didn't break skin, but still.
Then you barely got shot.
I barely got shot. No, the way my family does dove hunting is super dangerous now that I'm thinking about it. Because they all go out into a field and pick a corner and then shoot toward the middle. So,
The math doesn't work out on that one.
yeah. I took a little bit of birdshot, but it's fine.
Anyway,
Got
so
a dove.
the woman, like, on the drive to the hospital, she was slumped over, kind of not there, can't imagine why, but, like, she never showed signs of shock, and she ended up surviving.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
good. I feel less bad about the jokes now.
She
She still
shot in
had
the
shattered
face.
teeth. And I was kind of curious to look up a photo. I didn't.
No one would judge
What's her name?
Katie Starks. So that was maybe his last crime. Though later on, police were like, yeah, this might have not actually been the Phantom Killer, which was also what they were calling him. This might not have been the Phantom Killer. Also, this other killing might have been the Phantom Killer.
Yeah.
But a lot of, like, there's not a lot of information about
It
that
seems
other
like
killing
these
later on.
three aren't as related as...
But you also have to keep in mind, this is a very small town. Not a lot of murder happens. So linking the murders made sense. Also, like, the MO was pretty similar in a way. He was attacking
drastically
couples.
different from the first one.
Yeah, the first one, but like also a lot of serial killers, like they'll start smaller and then they'll get bigger and bigger, like Jack the Ripper. Like he started small and then each time he took it a step further.
Although I have a feeling well, I won't get into that.
Oh, that's not what you're gonna get into?
No, not because
Of
it's
all
offensive,
things.
because it's a rabbit hole.
It is yeah.
Jack the Ripper, he was just that one hooker's friend who wanted to be her boyfriend, and he wanted her to get out of the business. So he started killing hookers to scare her. Anyway.
That feels excessive. He could have just told some ghost stories.
Yeah, but if you look at the facts, like, it adds up. But
I got to go, this is unrelated, I got to go on a Jack the Ripper tour when I was in London. It was really
That'd be
cool.
dope.
It was really
did you get to
cool.
do that, did you get to do that, like, House of the Dead under the London Bridge?
No, because I would pee myself.
It looked awesome.
I don't do anything like that. Like,
When
I'll go on a tour, you can
one
tell
of
me
the-
all day, but as soon as anyone goes out to touch me, I will.
Well, they can't touch you.
Yeah, but if they get too close to me, I will
Although
cry.
it is England, I don't know what their rules are on that kind of thing. Maybe they can touch
They
you.
can.
Maybe they just have to.
At least it seemed like it, because there was also one in Edinburgh.
Afterwards.
And I wasn't trying to do that. I don't go to haunted houses.
We should all go to a haunted house for a Halloween special.
I will stay at home, thank you.
Let's do. Never mind, I can't remember what it's called. Don't worry about it.
13 Floors?
No. It's in Fort Worth. It's it's the Guinness World Record holding biggest haunted house in America. I've been 3 times. It's dope. They have a contest.
Nah.
There's this maze, right? And you go in, and it starts off, and you're all looking at TV screens. And then Jigsaw
seen
comes
that
on,
movie.
and he's like,
Okay.
I want to play a game. Whoever
have
can
not seen
find
that
the
movie
door
again, I
that
will pee
says,
myself.
I want to live, wins. And they hand you a glow stick, and all the lights turn off, and then you just hear these chainsaws start up
No!
everywhere. And you're like, you have a glow stick, and you're running around looking for graffiti that says, I want to live on a door.
Oh,
And then-
aren't they the people allowed to like take your glow stick and
Yeah.
yeah?
And
No!
but I found the door once, and they entered me in a contest, and they were like, come back on this date and do the maze again, and the first one through gets a prize of however many dollars, but I wasn't 18, so I couldn't do it.
Oh.
It's called Cutting Edge. I remember now. It actually made me think I was going to die.
Yeah, that does not sound like something I want to
The
do.
final room of this haunted house was a maze. It wasn't really a maze.
How many mazes are there?
It was a hallway with turns, but the entire hall, it was about 8 feet of bubble foam, like from a rave.
That doesn't sound
And there
too
would
bad.
be waves of air that come through so you can breathe, and you have to you see the wall of foam coming back, and you have to take a big breath and hold it and walk through it.
That
to get
sounds
to the end.
dangerous.
It was terrifying. I thought I was going to die. I found a taller man than me and walked behind him, hunched over so I could get in the air bubble from his back.
That man died.
I pushed him through to the end. Oh man, it opens with you go into a walk-in closet and there's clothes hanging on both sides of you, and every couple of feet there'll be a body on one of the hangers, and you don't realize it, but the further you go in, the narrower it gets until you're brushing up against everything on both sides, and then you have to crawl through a doorway at the end.
No.
Oh, it was brutal.
Anyway, so the police probably
Let's do
said that this was a phantom killer murder so that they could get more resources. That's my own conjecture. Because, they even say it could, that we can't directly link it, but it's possible.
That seems odd.
Because...
your murder investigation will be a lot better if it's part of multiple murder
Well, it got a lot of
investigations.
funding. It got help from the FBI. The Texas Rangers came in.
Yeah.
It got a lot of resources. And then if you bring in...
At the end of the day, dead is dead. An investigation needs to happen.
No, right.
But it's about funding, though.
The funding is really important. Like
The
I
more
said,
funding, the
because
more
the
they can-
300 people coming and you got to pay people to talk to them. So, they also upped the
Who's paying
reward.
me to yell at this guy?
They
I'll
upped
tell
the
you,
reward
for
to
money.
a whole lot more. I didn't do the conversion.
Controls the world.
It was raised to over 7,000.
Who is
$46.
that? Wait, Bailey. Speak. Your microphone's doing weird stuff.
Hello? Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Are you plugged in? Neat. I hope you,
It's all good. It doesn't matter.
Emily,
Okay.
bring us home.
All
bring us
right.
home.
Yeah, so there were a lot of theories. So they brought in like the FBI. There was a flashlight found at the scene of the last crime. They sent that to the
Picturing
FBI.
a very old-timey flashlight.
I have a picture of it.
Really?
Oh, you have a picture
Does
of
it
that.
have a big box underneath it for the battery? I love a big box on a flashlight.
It looks like
It sounds like a euphemism.
It does, doesn't it? But it's not.
Like a big box for a flashlight.
Hold on, I gotta do it again.
Well, this is going to be a heavily edited episode again.
That's flashlight.
That's just a regular-looking flashlight.
But have you seen this like all caps? Have you seen this 2-cell flashlight? That was what was printed in the papers.
No, but I hate stuff like
Wait,
that.
I'm sorry. Why did they need... What?
Because if you recognize the flashlight,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you know the person who owns it. Maybe you know the killer.
Were flashlights unique back then?
Enough to print it in the paper. I don't know.
Have you seen flashlight serial number FL4296?
Ah, man. Mine says 5. So,
It reminds me of the "Have you dreamed this man" thing, and it makes me angry. Have you seen that?
We can save that for
Yes.
another time.
That I want to do a whole episode over that, even though there was a therapist that invented it.
well,
Episode
So-
4.
we'll get to the suspects now. We'll get to some of my favorites. Again, I didn't get to look into a bunch of them, but it's interesting. So the first one I want to talk about is, so like I said, Booker, she played the saxophone, and she played a very specific type of saxophone. It was a Bundy alto sax.
Okay.
So it's
Ooh,
the brand and stuff.
Alto. A
So
little whiny for my taste.
a
I'm
girl
more of a tenor
died.
sax man.
A girl died, and you're stuck on her saxophone.
Not the killer? Are you the killer?
Are you?
I just hate alto sax, man.
So, that was publicized in the papers, like, hey, be on the lookout for the saxophone, because they didn't find it. And it was with her.
Okay.
It was with her when they died, because she was picked up from the gig, and she never made it home. The saxophone should have been in the car still, but it wasn't. So, in Corpus Christi, a man tried
Of
to,
course.
a man tried to sell a saxophone that fit a similar, like, it fit the description. The girl working noticed, and she was like, I have a quick question for my manager. He started to get really nervous, like, okay, what do you need to ask him? Like, you should know everything. You work at a music store, which sounds familiar.
Which is a big misunderstanding, but continue.
Yeah.
I also worked at a music store.
Like, quote, what do you have to talk to him about it for? You work here, don't you? And then as soon as the manager came out, the guy fled. Which
I'm
was...
just picturing a guy in a 4-button suit running down the street with a saxophone.
And it was also in the same case that, and it's a similar case to what was described as
Okay.
what hers was in. So, like, there were a lot of pieces for that alone. And then a couple days
I like
later,
this guy.
he was arrested, after purchasing a .45 caliber revolver. And then a couple days later, the sales girl identified him, even though, so they searched his stuff, they didn't find a saxophone, but they did find blood-soaked clothes. He said, oh, that's just from a cut I got, in a bar fight. And just, there was a lot of things all at once, a lot of things that just, they seemed too coincidental to be coincidences. Mm-hmm. But, unfortunately, they grilled him. They interrogated him for several days, and his story stayed the same the whole time.
Did you do the murder? No. Did you do the murder? No. Did you do the murder? No.
Yeah, he didn't. So he gave
back to my
alibis
hunch.
and he gave explanations for everything, and they went through and they checked every single thing he said, and everything checked out. They double checked it, still checked out.
So this sounds like a guy that bought a stolen saxophone and tried to sell it.
So the biggest thing that I would say clears his name is that the saxophone was actually found 6 months after the murder, which is before this.
Okay.
Sorry. He tried to sell it before they found it. He tried to sell a different one.
Yeah.
Because they found the real one pretty near where her body was found. They just found it 6 months later.
He just didn't look hard enough.
They didn't look under a bush.
I don't see
That's
anything
just where it was.
saxophone-y
It
laying
was in a
around.
bush.
Well, I don't think anyone thought to look for it. Because the car was found last, and you see a dead body, you don't think, I wonder where her saxophone is.
Bad detectives.
Yeah. So,
It's like they never even played L.A. Noire.
Saxophone.
um,
I don't know. You're lying.
I just like the thought of them going, no, it's him. That's the saxophone. Ah, shit. Nah, did we check that bush?
we don't need to. Yeah. So another suspect that I
Well,
find...
I got. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. The guy. Okay. Why was he so?
I don't
so
know
many
why
questions
he
about
was...
that guy.
I don't know why he was so jumpy.
Have you been to Corpus?
That's... that answers all your questions.
Okay.
Jazz guy that just did a lot of coke before he went to go sell it.
I know one person that we all know who spent a considerable amount of time in Corpus who would probably also be jumpy in this situation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he couldn't be here to record tonight.
He's just always jumpy.
Yeah, so he was like really, really sus.
I have
and
some pretty
then...
laid-back videos of him at a selfie booth in
Those videos were funny.
Yeah, they were. Continue.
So the next suspect I want to talk about is H.B. Duty and Tennyson.
No, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there.
can't-
No,
you're not
gonna go there.
to gloss
No, you
over
gotta
this.
give him time to giggle about it. Otherwise, we'll never get past it. His nick. All right, I'm gonna repeat it a couple times. His nickname is Duty. Doddie.
What did he do to get that?
It was 46. It was a different time. So on November 5th, 1948, Henry Booker Duty Tennyson. Are you guys good?
Duty!
Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right. Your name's Duty. We know you did it.
All right. Now that you've got that out of the way,
I don't know what you expected, Emily.
I know. That's why I started.
Completely
But
glazed
now-
over that one.
Right,
I don't
but
think
now
this is
I'm
out
gonna
of the
get
way.
to the part that's gonna bring it back down.
We'll see. Well,
I'm gonna bring it back down. He was found dead in his bed because he took cyanide.
Hold on, what?
This is a bad duty.
Duty did it.
Maybe it's because his name was Duty. I can't confirm that. But he wrote a lot of notes.
Calling me Duty.
He wrote a lot of notes.
It didn't
that,
bring it back down, Emily.
I know.
it
I
didn't
was
bring it
kind of
back down.
expecting it to, but I forgot these people
Duty.
don't have empathy.
No.
Not when it comes to duty. So
Oh, God.
here is a note that he wrote. To
Sincerely Duty.
Oh, man.
he signs it H.B. Tennyson.
Poor duty.
To whom it may concern, this is my last word to you fine people, and you are fine. I want to thank you for all the trouble that you have gone to send me to college and bring me up. You have really been wonderful. So the letter starts basically thanking everybody that got him to that point, but he doesn't feel like he was deserving of all that. But like, from an outsider's perspective that's looking at this case a lot later.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Bailey's microphone is going crazy right now. Are y'all watching this?
It's not doing anything now. Why? What is wrong with it?
I don't know.
Can't wait to listen to that.
No, now it's not doing anything. It's got to be something wrong with the cable. Oh, I guess unplug it and we'll just share.
Yeah, that's fine.
So looking at this note from an outsider's perspective, it seemed like he had a lot of support to get him into university.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Man, I'm going to have to edit that. That's going to be a pain.
I don't know why that happened.
Okay. We're back.
So it looked like he was just really depressed and didn't feel worthy of everyone's effort, which, in my opinion, seems to be the biggest reason why he ended up killing himself.
Yeah.
But he does confess to the murders in this note.
Interesting.
Yeah, yes, I did kill Betty Jo Booker and Paul Martin in a city park that night, and I killed Mr. Starks and tried to get Mrs. Starks. You wouldn't have guessed it. I did it when Mother was either out or asleep, and no one saw me do it. For the guns, I disassembled them and discarded them in different places. When I am found, which has already been done, please give this typewriter to Craig, his brother, and tell him that I hope his child is a boy, and he goes on basically to just say, like, it's like a will right there. And then he says, well, goodbye everybody. See you sometime if I make the grade, which will be hard for me to make. H.B. Tennyson. And when he says, if I make the grade, it seems to also be a reference to, like, he tried really hard in school to make the grades. He says that a couple times in different journal entries. He really was trying to make the grade so he could get into college and stuff. But even still, a lot of work had to be done by other people to help him get to college. Very nice. So he said that he committed suicide for the happiness of his family. Cause he wrote his own epitaph. It says, do not disturb death in the making, he put that on his door at one point. Here lies H.B. Tennyson, puts the dates. He committed suicide for the happiness of the family. May he rest in peace. Amen. He was never a suspect in the killing, but he knew a lot of the information about the killings. So it was just kind of interesting. But then they found one note that says, please disregard all other messages which I have written. They are only thoughts which I was thinking about as possible reasons for taking my own life. And then he goes into saying, and back then, mental health was not a priority for anybody.
Yes.
So
some would argue. Still isn't.
Yeah. So, and like he finishes it, if I had done what they had told me to, this would have never happened. Studying instead of playing around, going out with people in my age group instead of staying home and dreaming. So, it was an interesting thing since he knew so much, and he even said in one of the other notes, like, why did I kill myself? Well, wouldn't you want to kill yourself too if you had the guilt of all these murders on your hands? So he really seemed to feel guilty about something.
Yeah.
And so it's just really interesting to me.
So was there anything that maybe caused doubt and maybe he didn't do it?
Did he say anything that wasn't public knowledge?
That's the thing. He didn't.
Okay.
And then also his friend came forward saying, like, hey, the nights that the murders happened, like, we were hanging out. So he didn't do it. Yeah. So it's just, I think that's an interesting look into the mental health of the time, facilities of the time. Just, this kid was struggling, and to get the attention that he was craving, he claimed to be this murderer that was never caught, just to get some attention to the issues he was going through.
Which, I'm not...
And I don't think it was just for attention. Like, I think there was definitely something wrong. He killed himself.
Yeah,
but
it's very terrible, like, everything there. Oh, yeah. A little selfish, though. Because, with that, it just kind of...
I think bringing the attention to himself for the killings was kind of selfish, but he also says, like, in his notes, like, I killed myself so that my family can be happy, so I'm not a burden on them anymore. Which is just so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I don't think he did it. It's an interesting and he's a notable suspect of the time just because it was so weird. So that's one of, a suspect that I just kind of feel for in a way.
Yeah.
But my favorite and most frustrating suspect is a guy, let me find it, by the name, where'd he go? Sorry.
Don't apologize.
You're gonna have to top duty.
Ewell Swinney isn't really...
Yule?
Ewell. Youell. Swinney. So, there were a lot of things that made this guy look interesting to the cops.
You got a weird name.
For example, So one of the cops realized that a car had been stolen on the night of one of the murders. So he was like, okay, maybe that stolen car was used to go to and from whatever else. And so he staked it until Peggy Swinney, came back to get it. She admitted to stealing a bunch of cars. And then when they went to arrest her husband, he ran. He ran out the back of the building, down the fire escape, and he wouldn't talk to anybody. And his wife confessed, that he was the Phantom Killer, that he had killed Betty Jo Booker and Paul Martin. But at the time, there was a law against spouses testifying each other because they were unreliable witnesses. So he wasn't arrested for the murder.
I think that's still a law.
So now you don't have to, but you can.
Okay.
At least as far as I know. I'm not educated in it, but I feel like I picked that up somewhere. So he was just sent to prison as a habitual offender for car theft. There was a lot of circumstantial evidence, though. So I'm going to go through some of the list.
Please.
Peggy Swinney, when she was arrested for stealing, was the one reported missing on the night of the Griffin Moore murders. Then when the cop caught Ewell Swinney on the fire escape, he said, "Please don't shoot me." Tackett replied, "I'm not going to shoot you for stealing cars." Swinney then replied, "Mister, don't play games with me. You want me for more than stealing cars." Then in the car ride, he was like, "Do you think they'll give me the chair for this?" Well, they give me the chair. And the cop said, "You won't get much, maybe 5 or 10 years. They don't give you the electric chair for stealing cars." And he said, You got me for more than stealing cars." There was just a lot of
Man, this guy's dumb.
It's like
Yeah.
very incriminating.
yeah. And then,
Don't
Nah,
play-
dude, I did murders.
yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna get me, copper. I know what you.
When a lawyer told Peggy that her husband was being held for murder, she said, "How did they find it out?" When Peggy took the
Again,
officers...
she's not great either.
No. When she took the officers to where Paul Martin's car was found, she said she had walked in the woods there, and they had, in fact, found a woman's foot, or a heel print in that area. Her family believed that he was the Phantom. Police found a khaki work shirt in the suspect's room with a laundry mark of the word STARK, which is the last murder. That was his last name, Virgil Stark. In the front pocket of that work shirt was very similar. They matched samples found in Virgil Stark's welding shop. So there's a lot of evidence piling up. He also used to own a .32 caliber Colt automatic, which is the weapon that was used in the murders. And instead of saying, "No, I'm innocent," like, he didn't plead innocence at all. He just remained silent while being accused. And then also Peggy confessed to her husband's actions and said a lot. And she told them things that the officers didn't know at all. So she gave them more evidence. So there's just a lot of things like,
Yeah,
okay,
this dude sounds guilty.
open and shut. But, there were some
This
issues.
guy did it.
So Peggy eventually would recant her confession.
No, I didn't say that.
He's like, no, I didn't mean it.
That wasn't even me.
Yule's fingerprints didn't match any of the prints at the Booker Martin crime scene, and there were a lot of them. He denied being the Phantom and never made a confession, an outright confession. Officers of several different counties tried to verify her story, saying that they were the killers, or that he was the killer, trying to validate where they were. But they figured out that on the night of the murder of Booker and Martin, the couple was sleeping in their car under a bridge near San Antonio, which is the opposite side of the state.
And, like, for anyone listening who's not from around here, it takes 10 to 50 hours to drive from one end of Texas to the other.
Let me see. Texarkana.
Yeah, I mean, because where we are, it took me about 6 hours just to get to New Mexico.
Yeah. I spent an entire day driving to Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing that comes up is flights, and it's 3 hours.
A 3-hour flight.
So it's a 6 hour, 46 minutes from San Antonio to Texarkana. Yeah, I'm from up north. My mom drove in today to bring me my cat, and it was a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
And that's a short drive. Every time I tell someone, oh yeah, I'm going to school down here, they'd be like, oh, that's not too far at all. It's like, that's 5 hours.
Yep.
But that being said, they could not have done the murders, which, that's it. Those are the most interesting suspects. So
yeah, it's pretty wild.
Really makes you go, huh?
I really think this is just like three cases that are not related.
I will say it really, really seems like the two middle double murders, they seem very, very related.
So how did they relate the first assault? How did they?
I was going to say that one sticks out compared to the other ones.
It was, so like I said, it was a very small town, not a lot of crime. And the fact that they happened in such close succession, it was like 3 weeks apart. I will see if there's anything.
I'm thinking multiple people.
Okay, so you're thinking just 3 separate situations. 5?
How many are we talking about? I think the first one is different from at least the next two. Those might be related.
Yeah.
And then if there was another one, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting how much.
So they connected it because they were similar in the ways that they're both in secluded areas and they were attacked around the same time at night.
Yeah, but like I feel like if I was gonna do murders, that'd be the go-to, you know?
No, for sure.
Like surely more than one person is like, yeah, I'll go. I'm not gonna kill someone in the inner city. I'm gonna go to a place where there's only the people I'm gonna kill. Or not kill.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. But that's how they connected it. It was because there was such low crimes, the fact that they were similar enough, like it was around the same time at night, exactly 3 weeks apart, in the same general kind of area.
Sorry, exactly 3 weeks apart. I'm just imagining like an iPhone timer. Oh, there I go killing again.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no one ever came forward. No one, like...
one guy did, but...
almost 400 suspects were arrested. In just one of the cases, over 200 people were questioned. And about the same number of false tips and leads were checked.
So about the last suspect, the
most recent one we talked about.
Your favorite suspect.
Yes.
So they weren't able to pin anything on him besides the cars?
Right. Because they weren't there. Which is... So I'm wondering what he did.
Yeah.
He did something.
Like they called the Zodiac Killer and it's like, oh, that murder. No. That wasn't me.
That wasn't me. I was in Japan at the time. I can't even.
Zodiac was a little bit later, but I get what you're saying.
Literally the first, yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
The Sudoku killer is going to kill either 1, 4, or 9 people.
Yeah. And then also, there is one weird other thing about that last suspect. It might have been a prank. It might have been an actual confession, but an anonymous woman contacted the family members of 2 of the victims in 1999 and in 2000, apologizing for what her father had done. The thing is, he wasn't known to ever have a daughter, but it doesn't really seem like anyone kept up with him after he was released on suspicion. So,
who knows?
That's the Texarkana Moonlight murders. A lot of unanswered questions. What's up with the saxophone guy? What's up with Yule? Why did he think he was going to get the chair for car robberies? Who did it? Were they connected?
I feel like that last guy might have just been drunk.
But he stuck by it.
Yeah.
Like these were 2 different car rates. Like when he was arrested,
drunk.
and he was. I don't know how.
I bet in the
how big
40s
you
they'd
get
bring you liquor in the interrogation room.
Okay. That was my next question. Yeah.
Am I gonna get the chair? No, man, you're good. Like you boosted a couple cars. Don't even worry about it. I don't know.
But yeah, there's a lot of other suspects that just none of them are quite right.
Yeah. And again,
that's because
it was a different time back then.
Different people did the murders.
Even so, then they should have found. If different people, I feel like it would just be more likely that they would have found somebody for any of them if it was different people. But yeah, like different time, it's a lot harder.
God, man, it's just so easy to get away with murder back then. Like literally that John Mulaney.
All you have to do is break eyesight, and you're good.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then just don't keep the bloody clothes on you.
Which again, Yule had a shirt of Stark's, the last guy that was killed.
Yeah.
So if they're all disconnected, I think he maybe did that one.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean,
but I don't know. Like they would have if they thought he had only done one of them. Like they looked into him for 6 months straight, day and night. Like they literally had people on that case 24 hours a day for 6 months. So I feel like that would have come up. But I don't know.
Man, I'm really angry.
Think you could go,
This is less closure than Norman's episode.
I mean, just leaving with a sense of uneasiness.
It's true.
It's not.
It's 1:04. Do you know where your children are?
Do you know where you are?
Do you remember that?
No.
I don't. It was before my time.
I remember that.
Which would mean it's before my time.
What was that? What show was that?
I don't know what you're talking
I don't
about.
know. I know the quote.
I've seen it, but only in reruns.
Maybe that's what I've. Yeah.
What?
Well, if it's a rerun, is it still before our time? Yes, it is. Never mind.
It's I guess so.
I mean, any final thoughts, Emily?
I hope to never get shot in the face so that I have a river of blood and teeth in my home.
And then have Tanner joke
A
about
virtual
it later.
river.
Exactly. So I'm looking through some of the victims right now, and it looks like they didn't live great lives. So the guy that got hit on the head, he definitely made a full recovery. He ended up working at NASA.
Whoa.
Sometimes you have to break a couple
Yeah.
eggs to make an omelet.
But he died in his sleep at 54. The girl he was with, that...
It was a public service announcement from the 60s through the 80s at 10 p.m. Just so you know.
The other girl that was attacked with him, she died of cancer at 38.
That's not great.
No.
It's the cell phone towers, man.
It's... Hey, are you feeling okay? It's put in a new tower behind the... He came in yesterday while I was by myself.
It's the wrong time to talk about this.
I know, it's just... It made me mad. And he kept talking.
I'm
he kept
so glad I
interrupting me
don't know who you're talking about.
He kept interrupting another customer who was trying to ask me questions. And then he finally left. Like, he stopped mid-sentence and left at one point. Just like, and that was it for the rest of the day. And I turned to the guy, I was like, yeah, he's a talker. And he's like, yeah. Anyway, shout out.
Speaking of, I finally beat that level.
What are you talking about? A Mario Maker?
Yeah.
Last week.
I beat it yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a whole week.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So,
I felt good.
Looking up.
Can you do it again?
Not right now.
Okay. I just imagine Tanner just ignoring literally every other feature of that game. Is like, no, fuck this. I'm getting done.
That's what happened.
So, the woman that was attacked and shot in the face with the virtual river, she actually lived to 84. She died in 94.
What a good year.
How do you?
She's buried
I was
next to
born in
both her
94.
husbands. A lot of people involved with the case now are just, since it was so long ago, they've died.
So we can make fun of this.
Well, people still knew them.
You're right.
But yeah,
I hope everyone understands when they listen to this that, like, us making light of this, we're not ignoring the gravity of the situation. It's just,
without it, yeah.
you know, you
So,
have
yeah.
to, if you can't joke about things, then you can't.
yeah.
That closes the dialogue, and then it becomes an unhealthy taboo kind of thing.
Yeah, no,
I think joking is the purest form of expression.
I agree. I think this was a very interesting case.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that you had your favorite suspects, especially when one of them was named Duty.
Look what you did!
No, I think this is a really good one. And this sense of uneasiness that I'll feel as I'm driving back home.
Yeah, and like I said, it did inspire The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
I haven't seen that, so I have to check it out.
I haven't
now.
either because
Yeah, that sounds good.
of course I haven't.
Watch Party.
Watch party? I'm down.
Watch party. So
Let's do a
every-
commentary for the
every
movie.
year- I'm
That'd be
super down
fun.
for that.
Yeah.
Every year, Texarkana has a showing of it,
Okay, well.
which is not great.
Yeah.
So it's been a tradition since 2003, and then also there was a remake of the movie. I haven't seen it obviously, but I heard something saying
What's
one
it
of
called?
the potential. It's called The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Oh. Well, that's not very original.
No, it's not. I think it was released in 2014, but one thing that I had read was one of the plots they were considering doing was a copycat had come up from the yearly showings from the movie.
Yeah.
And then the movie, besides taking some artistic license, it's generally very similar to what actually happened. Which it's also...
Except it assumes that one person did it all.
Well, yeah, but following the events, besides what is just guessed, they took a couple...
You gotta hold
she
that
played
close to your mouth.
trombone.
We're not picking you up. Turn it. Twist it.
Oh,
Pull it.
no.
Bop it.
Nope. You were good there.
There we go.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
The
Artistic
movie,
license.
Artistic license.
Yeah, but generally, so one of the things was she played trombone instead of saxophone, but except for, minor details, the murders largely happen the same way.
What kind
they
of
did in real life.
director is sitting there going, No. Saxophone is out.
Well,
All right?
okay, because in the movie, I think he puts a knife at the end of the trombone, and then he plays the trombone and stabs her to death.
That's
Which is...
that's ridiculous.
Oh, what?
So
I
there's
actually
that.
wanted to see this movie.
Guys, we're
Or
doing a
either
commentary
that-
track over this movie.
That,
Yeah.
or they used that as a replacement for the pistol in the first attack.
We're gonna find out.
out.
Yeah.
But,
We're gonna-
so,
Episode 4, commentary for this movie.
sounds
That'll be on Patreon.
perfect.
It wouldn't be episode 4 then.
No, episode 4 is going to be...
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best Lion King movie.
Boo.
3.5?
He means 2.5, but either way,
I
he's
think he
wrong.
means 1.5.
You can't top the original. President
Anyway.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Anyway,
He just can't wait to be king.
I don't remember what I was gonna say because you keep talking about Lion King. Yeah, it's a weird situation. Even if different people did it, who in a small town like that town again, like people remember. People
I grew up in a
still
small
knew,
town, and I never murdered anyone.
supposedly.
But there were times when I was like, "Yeah, I get it. Like, I'm not gonna do it, but I get it."
Sure.
It's like I could sure go for a murder right now, but I'm not gonna do it. That'd be pretty cool.
But
But
what are the odds of all these different murders and attacks happening within the span of like 3 months or less?
Yeah.
In such a small town, they're so similar. So that's another aspect to it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they could have been different people, but what's the likelihood of that being the case?
Yeah.
I'd say 85 to 100%.
That's a very strong conviction you've got.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the Texarkana Moonlight murders.
Very
Not
good.
great.
No,
Well,
like
those are
very
two
good
different
presentation.
opinions. Thank you. Yeah, a bad situation, but definitely super interesting. People are still researching it to this day. A book just came out last year about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we know where I stand.
I mean, I actually kind of agree. I feel like they were probably separate.
Yeah. Especially the first one.
And I totally get it by lumping them, lumping some killings together, the resources that you can gain from that,
Exactly.
and the attention, and the money that comes in with it. Oh, man, it's all really unsettling, especially when you kind of start painting those pictures of how they died.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yes.
I just want to know more about that saxophone, dude, or the.
Yeah, I want to know. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't even.
Now Norman's quiet.
It's me. I'm not quiet.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's better.
I got nothing else. I don't know what to.
Okay. No, we're good. We're good. What do you think, Bailey?
I don't think it was all the same person also, but it's kind of weird how like that guy knew a lot about everything. Not the
last suspect, his wife knew stuff that the cops didn't know,
Yeah.
and that wasn't public.
It was weird. So I don't know. It's a pretty good one though. I enjoyed it.
That's it. Top story so far. I guess I need my microphone back.
I mean, it's no child beheading, but it was pretty good.
It's it's
there
up
was
there.
child
It's definitely
sexual
the
assault, so-
longest story so far
that
by
was the thing. Yeah.
100%. I would say.
My bad.
No, that's good. We were doing short intros to get people on board, and then we kick in with the stories.
And this is like this case doesn't really get, I think, as much attention as it deserves, since it is so. It's really unresolved. There's a lot of weird pieces to it, and it's just, and also it inspired such a pop culture thing. Like, it's one of the first movies that was like, this is based on a true story. Only the names have been changed.
I think that's the worst part
that's the
about
intro to it, so.
older crimes is that we just kind of have to accept at this point that we'll never know.
Yeah, which is.
There's a lot of things
unsettling
that I would
and-
love to know that I just have to accept that I just
You can't
won't.
ever, yeah.
Grown.
So yeah, I was looking into the influence that it had, and while it had a lot of influence, in like the slasher, that's kind of it. Like, even for podcasts, there's one episode. And it's been on a couple of those like small shows where it's just like, it's a story in passing, but I feel like it's one of those, once you look into it a little, like I want to look into this a whole lot more. Just my like cursory research, I learned a lot.
Yeah. I think we all did.
Thank you for your assuring nods. I appreciate it.
He doesn't have a microphone. You couldn't hear that laugh, but he giggled.
All right. Well,
I don't know. I don't know how we close this out
we
yet.
got to figure out a way to close these things, man.
Follow me on
Bye.
Twitter.
Yeah. No. Well, farewell. Yeah. So Emily, after all this research and whatnot, I think you should go first.
For my plugs?
Yeah, for your plug it.
Cool. I am on Twitter, a lot of dumb retweets. Instagram, almost never post. Twitch, I stream hopefully every Wednesday. All of those, I'm Ninja Squirrel, NJASQRL.
Sweet. I'm still Tanner on Twitter. I don't remember my Instagram or anything else, actually. Channel 3 Pod, pretty much everywhere else.
Yeah. Mainly on Instagram. Follow me at Unhappy Bananas. And typically anything else. Still waiting for hear from the guy on Xbox so we can get that. Anyway, we all appreciate you guys listening.
Oh, hey, Bailey, you want to do plugs?
Oh yeah.
Thanks for having me again. You can find me at Baymo_SSB on Twitter and Instagram. So, thank you.
Definitely keep an eye out for the website. Hopefully that'll be up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Also check out our, I guess, sister parent podcast, Channel 3 podcast.
Is this going to turn into a network?
Sister
It
parent.
is a network. Also, the Positively
It's
Negative
like house stuff.
is up
House
on
Networks.
several outlets now. Still waiting for iTunes and Spotify to clear it, but it's up on pretty much everything else at this point.
And one last thing, if you made it this far and you're still listening, please feedback. Give us some feedback. What do you want to hear?
Send us
Yeah,
What are we doing
sure.
right? What are we
stories.
doing wrong?
Send us money. Go to Patreon.
Please, I have $11. I have to
Patreon.com
feed my child.
/Channel 3 Podcast or Channel 3 Pod. I don't remember. We are now at more subscribers. No, as many subscribers as J Station. So we're real proud of that. And maybe we'll even do a Ouija board video. Who knows? We're going to summon the ghost of Beyonce. See what she has to say. Until next time.
We out.
Thanks, guys.